What's up, everybody? We are back. Welcome to Reel Chronicles, brought to you by ReelTalking.com. I am your host, David. I am joined with today the temp named Ryan.
Hi, guys.
Jenny, the cat lady.
Jenny, the cat lady? That's the name that you gave me? We don't even own a cat.
You do in your mind, though.
Yeah.
You do in your mind.
Yeah, I wish I had a cat. I do love cats, but no.
And
also,
Leo.
I'm married.
Okay.
Typical cat ladies are like not married, right?
Yeah, that is.
Remember when Ryan just took the joke last week? I wish Jenny just took the joke. Right
Jenny's
now.
like, no, she's putting up a fight.
Like, I'm not an actual temp on here.
Yeah, and just Leo.
I had no nickname.
Just
I'm fine with
Leo.
that. I'm fine with that.
Just Leo. Perfect.
Until next week when he comes up with
no,
it.
I like just Leo.
I like just
I think
Leo
that
too.
works too.
Why couldn't I just be just Jenny? It goes just the
Because
same.
you're more
and
important.
it's an alliteration. JJ.
You like your cats, and
Clearly,
Deal
with
I never go down without a fight.
Remember when we got a
Oh,
good.
I'm gonna try to be mature.
That's what she said.
I was like, wait, how did that make sense? But I was like, oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, before my nicknames got destroyed, we're back once again this week with the premiere of Onward, which is getting some great reviews.
Yay.
Currently certified on RT at about, I think 84-85%. We decided to break down our top 10 animated films of all time. That means Disney, that means Pixar, that means Sony, that means DC, that means Dreamworks, that means everybody.
Yep, everyone's in play.
Elimination!
So I will not have to insert that sound effect.
Yeah, I was
there.
gonna say
That was pretty good, right?
David, your sound effects
Thank
are
you,
recently.
thank you.
Well
Who
done.
needs like a soundboard when you got me? So yeah, we're gonna break that down. Some honorable mentions, our 10 favorite films, and our favorite scenes from those animated films. But before that, let's get into the news of the week. We can get started with our first look of the Batmobile from the upcoming The Batman.
Dun, dun, dun.
So from the first glance, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I dig it.
It's the most unique Batmobile we've ever had. And this is coming from the same franchise that had a Batmobile with a disco ball in it.
Yeah, it's the most car-like of the Batmobiles, but
It feels like a year one Batmobile.
Yeah.
Like he's just getting started. Let's just put something together. I like the wings on the back. It looks like a little cowl.
Yes.
So I do like that a lot. I also, non-car wise, I really like the, you finally get his suit fully.
yeah, because he's standing right next to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you agree with me with what I said a few weeks ago? Like that stunt suit.
Oh, the
was
stunt
nothing.
suit?
This is like what the final product is. Rye, what do you think?
I dug it all around. Like, I'm really looking forward to the film now.
And he's not red now, so maybe people will stop bitching about it. Jen?
So I thought it was cool. I actually think it does. I agree with Leo that it does kind of look like the most car-like of the, and it actually had a very like 80s car feel to me.
Yeah, nice.
And I even told Dave, I was like, oh, it's almost like a DeLorean. Like, but just kind of like the front of the style is very, it's more square.
It's like boxy.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, like that kind of reminds me. And I wouldn't be surprised if those Lamborghini doors.
It's like an
Go
open
up.
back, too. I like the open back on it.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
And it's smaller. It feels like it's smaller, so he can like maybe do a little more with it. It could go faster, possibly, maybe in smaller
True,
spaces.
Maybe he has
more
NOS
agile.
in it.
Oh,
If this turns
yes.
into a Fast and the Furious
There's
movie,
so much
I'm
no-
in.
If they do a crossover with Batman and Fast
I
and
may
the
walk
Furious,
out of the theater.
Fast.
Yeah, I'll walk right out.
I walk
no,
right out.
this could be
Don't do that.
amazing. This could be amazing. This could be amazing.
Like, we're about to find out next week how much Vin Diesel can't carry a franchise that's not Fast and the Furious. Because he has a new movie coming out next week.
What is it?
That looks horrible.
Bloodshot. It looks terrible.
Oh,
It looks
Bloodshot.
Absolute garbage.
Isn't that based off a comic or no?
I believe so.
comic book,
Graphic
yeah.
novel?
So, a comic I don't think any of us have ever read.
No.
No.
Not at the moment.
No.
And they also casted two twins A set of twins.
Wait, four people? Two people?
Two people.
Two people. Okay.
Or
like two twins.
So you
I'm
mean
like,
just they cast
so they-
twins?
they
casted
twins.
They casted twins.
a pair of people.
Who do you think they play?
I got nothing.
Rye?
I got nothing either.
Do you know who they play?
I don't know who they play.
Oh.
I figured they. So I'm pulling up the article that I wrote for the site this past week, and it could be Tweedledee and Tweedledum,
They are twins.
Or
Yes, that would make
Yeah.
that makes Mad Hatter present too.
or the Trigger twins.
I don't know the Trigger twins.
So they're a pair of criminals who previously won a toe in a '90s DC run. But I like the Tweedledee
I
Tweedledum thing a
love
lot.
that so much.
And now the Mad Hatter in this real life world may seem pretty cool.
He's actually pretty docile and realistic now.
Yes. Can you imagine? Like, I really, really, really wish Chris Nolan kept going because I really wanted to see like the Riddler in
that world. Oh, it would have been so cool.
It
It would have been Alex Trebek.
Yes, yes. Except if you don't answer right, you're done.
It's
Or
like
in the
extreme
form
Jeopardy.
of a question.
Or in the form of a question. Yes.
Oh, in the form. There you go.
So-
So if you go into the negatives, you really go into the negatives.
So that, I mean, we're a year and 2 months out. So I think we may get a trailer at Comic-Con if there is a Comic-Con.
If there is a
If
Comic
there is a
There's a
Con.
Comic-Con?
Comic-Con,
Yeah,
yeah.
so
There's
we'll
a lot
see.
of people in one place. And
Yeah.
So it's a no-no nowadays.
I
We'll
think
see.
it really depends on if they get a handle on the virus, and then
So we'll see what happens there. All right. Next bit of news is something that I think Jen posted on the site on Thursday this week that The Rock may be playing Knuckles in the sequel to the Sonic.
Oh, I love Knuckles.
I'm fine. I guess.
that's who they introduced at the end of the
Knuckles
movie,
is
right?
That is not Knuckles. That is
No.
Tails.
Oh, Tails.
Oh, okay.
So
that
who
makes
is
sense.
this Knuckles?
Spoilers.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a huge spoiler.
Well,
I'll edit out that. I mean,
well, no,
post,
it's a
maybe.
spoiler for Ryan and Leo too. They haven't seen
Oh,
it.
you didn't watch it?
No, but so it's funny. I had
Where have you been?
I had talked to someone. I kept waiting for the stream. I had talked to someone that watched the movie, and I asked them if they because I love Knuckles, and I'm like, oh, did they touch upon Knuckles? And the person's like, I can't say, and I'm like, okay, enough said. That's cool. But yeah,
To their defense, credit for them to not spoiling it completely, but it's not really spoiling much because he's in the movie for like 3 seconds.
and clearly he doesn't say
Gotcha.
anything either.
Yes, he does.
Oh, he does.
It's the voice from the video game.
Oh, that's so cool.
That's
Yeah, oh no,
dope.
the design, all the backlash on the design of Sonic, none of that for Tails. Tails looks
Fantastic.
fantastic.
Well, because they already fixed Sonic,
He's a
so they got it
little-
right with the other
He's
one.
like a little red anteater. He's like a badass. So like Sonic is annoyingly cocky, but
He's cocky in this movie,
Knuckles
but not,
is like
No, but not in
quiet.
this.
not too crazy.
Not like that.
Not like the animated series
Not the
from the
animated
90s.
series? Okay,
So yeah, so The Rock playing Knuckles, I dig it.
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm not really a
Okay.
huge Knuckles fan. It was right a little bit after I stopped playing,
Gotcha.
but I know how popular he is.
Yes.
So I can see
Love
him
Knuckles.
being and The Rock, of course. You always want The Rock doing everything. Last bit of news is the most exciting news for me. Any gamers here? I know Jenny's not.
No.
Rye.
Lightly.
So do you guys know The Last of Us?
Yeah.
So, Last of Us is probably in my top 3 favorite games of all time because it is a game that is so detailed in its narrative and story, and I am not going to spoil it if you guys ever decide to sit down and play it, but it has one of the most heartbreaking openings of a video game I've ever seen,
Whoa.
and it's a post-apocalyptic game.
Yeah.
Zombie apocalypse is taking over, and it's a man and a little girl surviving. That's pretty much the game. But along the way, they meet people and things happen. I won't spoil anything else. But it's not going to be a movie. It's going to be an HBO series,
Ooh.
which I love that because it's a long game, and I feel like with a series, they can really, really pay attention to the detail of the game. Now, who do you think, if you guys have anything off the top of your head, would play the two main characters, Joel and Ellie?
How old is the girl supposed to be?
About 13 to 15, and Joel is in his mid 40s.
She brunette or blonde?
She is a brunette. I have a list. I did a list before the podcast today.
I have someone that I saw the internet go crazy for that I think would work. But I don't know if it would work.
You got nothing? All right.
Arya Stark?
Can I give you mine?
She was... All right,
Maisie
so
Williams?
fun backstory on that. The movie was first projected to be a theatrical release in 2014, and she was going to be Ellie. And I thought that was perfection. Nice. I thought it was... She's too old now.
Oh, true.
Yeah, she's too
She
old.
still looks small, but yeah, okay.
So I saw this online, and I like it a little bit. Caitlin Dever.
Okay.
And, oh my God, Jamie Lannister.
Ooh.
And the HBO connection.
That's legit. Yeah.
Isn't she too old for it, though? Caitlin? She's like in her 20s.
Is she? I thought she was like 18 or 19.
No, I think she's...
She looks young, so she could probably play it. Let me see. The other ones that for Ellie, Sadie Sink from Stranger Things. She plays Max.
Okay.
And Sophia Lillis from It.
Ooh.
She plays Bev.
Yeah,
I
Bev.
think she's perfect age.
That'd be cool.
But...
No, I want to tell you who I think.
Well, I'm going to tell you my last one.
But you're not.
The perfect
letting me say
pair.
it.
And I didn't see this online. It's just something that I saw from watching a movie. So I think the perfect pairing is Hugh Jackman and Daphne Keane.
You suck, David.
Boo.
Did you see that online?
I saw it online.
Well, she did literally preface saying, I saw someone, the internet
Yeah,
went wild
and
about.
I really liked it. The way they like paired up like the both of them, it was like perfect. So yeah, Hugh Jackman and Daphne Keane were my choices.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You guys should get your ass to a PlayStation and play the game. Highly, highly recommended. And
I think it could work though,
and
because Hugh Jackman is kind of he still looks
but she
youthful,
will need
and she's 15.
She needs a lot more. There's a lot of dialogue for her, so
she could do it.
I don't. Does she? She doesn't speak that much English.
I think by now she probably.
Yeah. So, but I do like that casting. We should find out relatively soon, and just don't let it be Mark Wahlberg, and I'll be a happy boy.
Fair.
And
She's
then last
Spanish British.
Oh, okay. So not news, but Quiet Place Part 2 had their first screening.
Nice.
And the first reactions are amazing.
Nice.
They said it's on the level of the first one, if not more tense.
How's Cillian Murphy being reviewed? Anything?
They're saying he does really well in the movie. So he does put on the Scarecrow mask, if you guys are wondering.
Thank the Lord. I was waiting for that.
Yep. I know you guys were wondering
There's
about
so much
that.
Batman in this episode. It's not even funny.
Oh, my God. I love it. We haven't talked about Batman in a long time. This is fantastic.
It is.
So, yeah. So the movie comes out March 20th. Jenny and I are catching it on Sunday. So we have a screening this week, and we are under embargo for full reviews, but I'll let social media know my thoughts after the movie. So that brings us to our main topic for today is our animated films. This is the hardest list I've done in 2020.
Womp, womp. But, okay. It's fine.
Thank you, Rye. I appreciate the love there.
No problem.
Yeah, so this list is, I didn't read, all jokes aside, this was a really hard list to do because when you really put all the studios together, it just shows how, despite the fact that Disney is all number one with a bullet, animated films have come a long way through different studios. So this was really hard for me. So let's get started with some honorable mentions. And I originally had 5, but I have 7.
All right, hold on. We are going to tell the audience what happened here.
We're just going to go through.
Originally, folks, when we thought of this concept, it was the top 10 best animated movies of all time. A lot of my co-hosts here,
Me.
they were having a really difficult time like dwindling it down to 10. So we came up with a compromise to say 15, top 10 and 5 honorable mentions, which it seems our dear, I guess, main host here couldn't really, I guess, adhere to.
Well, I did. I have 10. I just have some honorable mentions with it.
You really couldn't take 2 more away?
No, I couldn't. Fine. I won't name. I will do 16. I will take 1 away. There, done.
No, at this point, you might as well just say the whole list. But I'm
Fine.
just saying, like, you really couldn't, like, out of those 5
That
or
means
7,
those final 7 are all tied,
you
I guess.
really couldn't, like...
No, because there's something that I really like in all these movies a good amount.
Okay.
So no, I could not have done that.
Okay, so tell us your 7,
All right.
David.
So Shrek is an honorable mention.
Yeah.
Inside Out is an honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
Okay, interesting.
Coco is an honorable mention.
Wow. Okay.
The Lego movies.
There's going to be a divorce tonight.
for sure. The Lego movie is an honorable mention.
Yeah.
Really?
Zootopia is an honorable mention.
Ooh.
And here's where our listeners decide to hate me even more. The Little Mermaid is an honorable mention.
Oh my God.
And Beauty and the Beast is an honorable mention.
You're going to get kicked off your own podcast.
I think I am.
Wow.
I think I am. I think I am.
You
What
forget
the
who
heck?
produces this podcast.
It's okay.
Yo.
That's what makes my list unique. I have a
So
lot.
3 of those honorable mentions on your list, I won't tell you which one, are on my 10.
I think there's whole... Yeah, no, that's a lot of people on your
You
list.
got
And
3
your honorable mentions
honorable
are on my
mentions.
list.
Yes.
So
All right.
tell us more, David.
So my number 10 is Up.
It's 10?
Yeah, it's number 10.
Wow, this thing played at our wedding and it's number 10.
I would have thought it meant more to you.
That's rough.
At least it made the 10.
Okay, tell me more.
So Up has probably the saddest Disney moment of all time, and I think the saddest moment in animated film history.
It's really sad.
It's sad, but I don't think it's the saddest.
I think it is. I don't think there's anything.
Mufasa's death.
I think this is
Some
more,
people would say Bambi for an older generation.
It's that.
Get the fuck out of here
Bambi's
with
mom.
the fucking
No.
Bambi shit.
Bambi's mom's death is still
Did
the
you
most
not-
iconic
Did
death.
you not
Yeah.
hear what I just said for an older generation?
I agree.
It may
This
not
should
affect us in that because it never affected me in that way.
I
But like
agree.
for someone older in that when animation was really just getting started in that. I
Yeah.
guess I forgot what year Bambi is. I have to look it up. But that was a big deal.
It's still iconic in that sense. Yeah.
So yeah, David.
And you're a huge Mr. like remember the history of film type thing. So like, yeah, that you gotta give credit where credit's due. Bambi's mom's death is still like top.
So,
and
yeah,
most
sure.
Disney people don't have parents.
But I realized one thing, ladies and gents.
What?
I messed up my 10 and 9. My 9 is Up.
So what's 10?
Wait, do I get brownie points for it being one
It's
slot
higher than 10.
Maybe.
So I'll run through my number 10.
What's
real
your
quick.
number
They're
10?
married again.
Fantastic Mr. Fox, Wes Anderson.
I'm actually surprised. I saw this on when I was doing research for this.
I've never seen it.
I saw that actually on the list of a lot of people's like number one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm surprised that you have it so low.
It must be really good.
It is so good. And Jen's not a fan of stop motion. This is a stop motion.
Except for the Christmas movies, like the classic Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this movie,
Dentist elf.
Yeah.
I mean, Up has a more significance for me for reasons I'll get into in a second. Fantastic Mr. Fox is just a fantastic, well-made movie.
Well done. I was like, please say the word. Please say the word.
I'd like to give a shout out to Mr. Freeze because I would never be able to do the puns that I do on the show without his great work in Batman and Robin. I think it's the attention to detail in the movie and the performances. Like the ensemble is fantastic. Yeah. The husband and wife Fox is George Clooney and Meryl Streep. That's all you need to say.
Wow.
The movie is so good, and Bill Murray is in every single Wes Anderson movie,
and
he is hilarious as always.
Is he still rapey and curmudgeon,
Not rapey,
or
man.
Not rapey.
He's not rapey. Don't talk about Bill Murray like that. But yeah, I'm not gonna say
I
too
agree
much.
with the curmudgeon.
I can't really say too much about it because none of you guys have seen it. But if you guys haven't seen Fantastic Mr. Fox, as Jenny sees on all these lists, it is well worth it.
I definitely will watch it. Yeah.
It's available on the Criterion Collection if you guys haven't seen it. All right, so back to my number 9, which is Up. My favorite scene in the movie is actually the most depressing part of the movie. Here's why I think it's the saddest moment of any Disney movie.
Heartbreaking.
Because it literally shows the beginning of a relationship and an end of a relationship. It wasn't a sudden death. Spoiler alert, it's 10 years old. It wasn't a sudden death. They lived their life together, and she passed away before he did, and he just doesn't know what to do with his life. If that's not heartbreak, I don't know what is. And it's not a fucking deer getting killed, and it's not a lion getting killed.
Wow.
It's real people having a real relationship. Fight me.
Wow.
Good points.
Those animals are still
They're
very
your
real and
parents
valid.
dying suddenly due to murder.
I think I care more about that opening I guess.
You can relate to this one more. I
can relate to it
understand.
more because I'm a human being.
Holy
That's one.
crap.
And two, I'm married now, and I'd be sad if one of us goes. So yes.
Okay. Yeah. Look, it's your list.
I know.
It's
I
your
cry
list.
about David dying all the time.
For sure.
I get very upset sometimes when I start to think about it.
My number 8, I think, is not on a lot of people's list. I don't know why, but my number 8 is Wall-E. I think.
I love you so much. I literally want to hug you right now, and we're best friends again.
Want to give me a kiss on the forehead later?
Absolutely.
Thank you. So my number 8 is Wall-E. It is. I think it's one of those movies that it's progressively aged really, really well.
Yeah, well, considering we're pretty much going into that world.
Yeah,
soon.
seriously. I mean, it touches on a lot of themes.
Yeah.
Outside of just the loneliness, and it touches on like how complacent we are as a society.
Absolutely.
And I think people just don't realize it. The people that don't like Wall-E, what I've noticed the complaints are that, oh, you know, he's by himself. It's just a robot that just picks up garbage for like 45 minutes. I'm like, no, if you sit there and pay attention, it's about this robot is lonely, and he tries. And I think my favorite scene too is when he's watching the old video, the old movie.
Dude, I think we have the same favorite scene.
Because he's just trying to conform.
Yeah, he's just trying to connect. He's just literally trying to connect. Yeah.
And I also like the scene at the end where Eva's trying to put him back together. So I mean, is that a romantic comedy?
I think it's the greatest romance of our generation. So yes.
Thank you. See, Leo, I'm back. I'm back on track with
up.
you. Alrighty.
You made amends with Jenny by putting it number 9 up, and you made amends with me by talking about Wall-E.
Thank you.
All
right, let's see if I can impress Ryan now. So my number. So that was my number 8. So my number 7 is Toy Story 3.
Nice.
I originally, and this is where I have changed. I had my Pixar when we did our Pixar list. I actually had Toy Story 1 as my number 2 Pixar, and Toy Story 3 as my number 1 Pixar. But when we really look at the importance and the significance of Toy Story 1, it's hard to not put that at number 1 on the Pixar list. Yeah. But yeah, number 3, Toy Story 3, I think it's the one that made me cry.
Yeah.
And it's not where you think. I never once cried when you think they're going to die, because then all you have to do is think 3 seconds later, I'm like, it's a Disney movie. That's
the movie's not over
it's
yet.
Not,
so
and it's a Disney movie. If they
kill Mufasa, they kill a lot of people. I was believing it.
Ryan, they would have killed every single toy that ever existed in that franchise. I don't think they were going to do that.
I guess I was just hoping for closure where I'm like, this franchise really is going to end it.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
They're going to do what no other franchise has the balls to do, and then they did it.
They try. It's like what Marvel doesn't have the balls to do:
Exactly.
kill someone off,
snapping
until like
and bring them all
it
back.
took 22 movies. No, but my favorite scene in Toy Story 3 is not that. My favorite scene is the end where Andy plays with the toys one last time.
Yeah.
And I think I've said this on the Pixar episode, so I'll say it in passing here. He really didn't have to get rid of all these toys. He could have just even if he did take Woody and Buzz, I doubt the girls were going to think any differently of him. Just wanted to say that.
Yeah, David has a lot of toys.
Yeah.
I think most guys our age have a lot of toys
Seriously.
nowadays.
All right, so my number 6 is The Lion King. And I mean, what else can be said about The Lion King except it made a really bad reboot in 2019?
Very true.
It wasn't a bad reboot because it was very nice visually, but it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, it wasn't necessary because
but it is a technological. I would say it is a technological marvel.
Yes,
the fact that we're able to do that and I mean, how much more can we do than what was done? I mean, even in 20 years, I feel like it's an achievement in itself. And the fact that you were able to do that.
Too. It's an achievement in cinematography.
Yes, sure, why not? So this Lion King is a masterpiece, and I actually have a fun fact for you guys about the movie I found out the other day. Do you guys know that Walt Disney Animation has like an A team and a B team, and then when they used to release like 2 movies a year, A team would work on what they think would be their top tier movie.
Yeah.
Do you know that the B team worked on The Lion King?
I was going to say, I can imagine because it doesn't have any Disney princesses.
Do you know what the A movie of 1995
What was it?
I'll give you a hint. It's trash.
Princess and the Frog?
No. Jen, guess.
It was, so this was
1995. Oh, 1994, my apologies. So the movie. I don't think this movie came out in '94, but the A-Team was working on this in '94.
Okay, what?
Pocahontas.
Yep.
Oh, excuse me. That's not trash.
I'm sorry, it's hot garbage.
No.
Garbage, but it makes sense.
No, but you're a guy. You wouldn't. It's different. Like Pocahontas, I think for girls was like a really big thing.
Especially multicultural women too. Like
yeah.
Multicultural girls, because you're having a non-white princess.
Also, the merchandising on that was.
Totally.
I had a million. I had a Pocahontas Barbie doll.
My sister
I had
loved it.
like all these Happy Meal toys. Pocahontas. I had Miko, which is her little raccoon
the
friend.
Happy Meals. You're right.
I had like so many
So
Pocahontas
you
toys.
and Jen, first two Pocahontas fans I've ever met in my life. Swear to God.
No.
Swear, I have never ever
Just
met
around the river bend. Colors of the Wind.
Even the worst Disney movies had good songs.
What's the other one?
But
It's so good.
I can't see Lion King being a B movie though, because like I said, there's no female lead, so this doesn't feel like all the movies before it that were the top hitters were.
And
not.
it ends up being like top 2 Disney animated movies of all time. So yeah, that's my 10 through 6 and honorable mentions. Let's see who can go. Just Leo, you can take it away.
Just Leo. All right. So as far as my honorable mentions, I ended up going with Monsters Inc.
Oh, yeah.
Aw, poor Monsters Inc. Poor Jack and Sully.
Yeah, I just love
Jack
Boo.
and Sully. Mike Wazowski and
Boo,
Sully.
Boo. Yeah, Boo is just adorable. Aladdin. Pocahontas.
It's not on your list. Oh man, poor Aladdin.
Pocahontas. Incredibles.
Oh!
Clearly on David's list.
And Moana.
Moana.
Okay. Yeah, that's gaining a lot of steam. So I
Yeah.
see that on a lot
Because
of
like
lists.
Moana, I hadn't seen last time we did any of like the animated lists. I just recently saw it and it blew me away.
What's your favorite song and why is it You're Welcome?
Honestly, I think the whole soundtrack, there was no weak song. Even the generic song of all the sailors getting to ready, even that was a catchy song.
The Rock is the MVP
The Rock
of
is
that
legit.
movie, by the way.
No, but even without him in the
But
movie,
wasn't
I
all
loved
the
it.
music by Lin-Manuel
Lin-Manuel
Miranda?
Miranda.
Lin-Manuel, yeah.
Future Academy Award winner.
But my number 10 movie, which is an honorable mention in yours, is Zootopia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zootopia for me. It just seemed. Well, first, I guess, like much like you mentioned on your list, Shrek, right? Like it changed the game with making these kids movies for adults that adults would get. And in Zootopia, you see this world of just animals, and the sloth DMV scene is probably the most
That's my favorite.
iconic.
That is my favorite scene. I
And
think
then
it's
he
probably
just changes his expression from like serious to like a smile in his
Yes. But it's like no child gets that scene, right?
No,
But
we get
every
it.
single adult in the
Yes.
theater was like, "That's
and the
true.
fact I really
Yeah.
like that scene too because she begs him not to tell the joke because she knows what's coming.
yes.
Oh, it's so fucking great.
Yeah, but the soft DMV stuff for Zootopia. My number 9 is Beauty and the Beast.
Okay, don't get me wrong. I love Beauty and the Beast. It just
Yeah, no, I loved. Yeah, it's still. I think even after our Disney episode, you kind of like just go back and realize how much these movies meant to you when you were growing up. And I think Beauty and the Beast is still probably one of the strongest Disney films. Favorite scene there would be the song Beauty and the Beast.
not be our guest.
No, I was more a Beauty and the Beast fan. My number 8 is oh my gosh, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Could not make my
Nice.
list.
Tim Burton, baby, I had to.
Could
But,
not make my list.
No, same thing. The animation was different. I realized when we were making the list too that some movies just changed the game, much like
Yeah, this
Fantastic
one did.
Mr. Fox, right?
Yeah.
Like stop motion is different, claymation is different. I just felt like this movie was different.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And all jokes aside here. So I enjoyed Nightmare Before Christmas quite a bit. I love Jack and Sally. Do you watch it every year?
I watch it. I think maybe once a year, probably.
So I watch it once a year.
Not during Christmas or Halloween. I just
You
watch
just
it once
watch
a year.
I don't think this may be blasphemous. I enjoy it a lot, but I don't think there's that much great in it. I
That's
think
fair.
there's a lot of very good in it.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that comes close to great is Jack singing. What's this? What's this? And then the end of the movie where Jack and Sally get together on the hill.
Yes.
That's so strong.
So it's funny with me. What one of the things I loved about it, it's more about the way the movie was made and the soundtrack to it.
Soundtrack is
because Danny
fantastic.
Elfman.
Oh yeah,
once
it's
again,
a fantastic soundtrack.
So Sally's song is my favorite song in there because it resonates throughout the whole movie. the beat to it and the melody to it plays every single time that Sally's on screen, until eventually you see them finally get together on the hill, like David said, and the song is playing. You finally hear all the lyrics to it, but Sally's song would be there. My number 7, another honorable mention on David's list, Inside Out.
Yeah, I love Inside Out. So good.
Feelings.
The only time I've ever cared about Phyllis.
The characters were so cool too, though, right? Because you all have those emotions that you're dealing with at that age. When she starts forgetting certain memories, it kind of hits you. But nothing made me more upset.
That made me cry too. I know where you're going.
Than Bing Bong and his death.
Yeah. Because he didn't just leave her head.
No.
He straight up died.
See, that's what I was waiting from Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
Was that moment of like, oh my gosh, they actually had the balls to do this.
But he died because she gave up her imaginary friend.
Yeah.
But still,
that's
man.
why.
That's heartbreaking.
I didn't have an imaginary friend, but it would have hurt it.
That's giving up your
I
childhood.
was told I had an imaginary friend.
So it's funny. It's giving up your childhood.
Their name was Ellie.
And the only reason that this movie made it higher than that was because it's like giving up your childhood.
Question.
Yes.
What feeling are you in that movie?
Oh my, I guess out of all of them, I want to say joy, but I'm probably more anger.
I'm anger.
Yeah.
David's definitely anger.
Right, what about you?
Hands down.
Trying to remember.
Oh, I thought this was going to be the time of the podcast when you say I haven't seen it.
No, I've seen it once, so I'm trying to remember. I
think
guess
you're
happy.
Yeah, joy.
You actually are quite happy most of the time, right? Yeah.
And compared to the other characters,
yeah.
Well, how funny was it when you see the different versions of all the characters and all the different kids?
Yes, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
I'm more fearful. I tend to
are.
be. Yeah, I tend to worry about a lot of things and like planning ahead
That's
and like worst case scenarios and stuff.
She's
so
so
I would
cute,
say I'm more fearful.
All right, go ahead.
But my number 6 is the other movie that deals with you growing up and giving up your imaginary friends, and that's Toy Story 3.
Oh, very
much
well
like
done.
David. I actually have like Andy's farewell is the incinerator scene was rough too, but again because like it was so in your face. It's like, oh my gosh, you're giving up your childhood. They're all gonna die, but it's that final farewell that did it for me too.
Yeah, I put it up there with like it's probably up there, with like E.T. Because every time I watch it, I cry.
So,
I cannot not cry when I watch that scene.
I feel like it's got to be our generation of man-child.
Yeah, we're all man-children.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I made it. Have you seen Toy Story 4?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not going to spoil. I really loved it. But I held myself, and I was like, I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. And then that last scene happened when there's driving away.
Yeah.
I was like, you did it again, Pixar.
Bastards. But yeah, that's my 10 through 6 or 15 through 6.
All right, Jenny the Cat Lady, you're up.
Hate that nickname.
I don't see it sticking though.
Yeah, I like it sticking.
Can you get me a cat? And
Yeah,
then
if you
make it
do
happen?
your list well, let's
Okay.
go.
Honorable mentions. So I have 3.
Okay.
Because David didn't tell me I needed to have 5. So number 3, A Nightmare Before Christmas.
Cool.
Because I agree. I think for me the most important part is definitely the soundtrack to that movie, and it's one of the movies that I used to watch over and over and over again. I had the VHS, like it was just something that was always in the background. My number 2 is Hotel Transylvania.
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah,
That's an
because
underrated
it's so
movie.
funny. It's just like Adam Sandler, like everybody, all his pals are all in
that.
it. David Spade, like it's. I don't know why, but like him playing Dracula and he's just like blah 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 and like all these things. It's really good.
It is.
Selena Gomez.
Can we put a petition out for an animated version of Uncut Gems?
I don't know if that would fly.
And Dracula as a dad too is a really cool
It was just an
I thought it
interesting
was
concept, and I was like, oh, I dig this. Like,
yeah. And you guys are big into that horror genre as it is. I can imagine seeing little like things like that.
I didn't love it.
No.
It's fine.
but you're
liked
not
it.
like, I don't know.
I don't like Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
so that's
you're
the
not
thing,
as big into. So I mean, it wasn't that. It was just the delivery of all. Like it also had more adult jokes, I think, than like for kids. So like I felt like as a parent, if you're taking your kid, you can understand it and you can.
The Wolfman and the Pups.
Yeah, it was just really funny.
Yeah.
And then my number 1 is The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh from 1977.
Oh, that is freaking cute.
Nice.
So I grew up with like this. I felt like this was probably always at some point on Disney Channel. I had it recorded on VHS. Like I used to watch this all the time. Obviously, it inspired the Disney ride. So for me,
that's what the ride is based off of?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was based on the movie.
Yeah. So, well, I'm sure, the books and everything like that, obviously, because the movie was based off of
the
the
Winnie the
books.
Pooh cinematic universe.
But yeah, I thought it was really, really good.
Oh,
It also had a sequel, which came out in 2011, but obviously, like, I'm older now and I can appreciate it, but it wasn't the same nostalgia that I had. My number 10 is Beauty and the Beast.
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun. So, great movie. I would say probably my favorite scene would be when they do dance, Tale as Old as Time, Beauty and the Beast.
My other favorite scene.
Actually, my other favorite scene is when he gives her, and this is like nerding out, but when he actually tells her that she can go into the library and pick any book that she
you
wants.
would like that scene.
I
book nerd.
Have always wanted a library like that where you have like several floors.
Wait,
and you have like the standing ladder that you can just roll down and like pick your books. That's always been, if we ever have a house, that would go there in the study.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
So, and then also was my first Broadway musical, actually. And it was the first one to become a Broadway musical. Fun fact. My number 9 is The Rescuers.
Oh, nice one.
Nice.
So
I was about to put Down Under in mine.
Again, another one of these movies that I watched all the time. Bernard, Bianca.
Yes.
Like, it was just such a good movie. The villain was
Bernard.
terrifying. My number 8 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
That's so low.
So low.
Yeah, but it was really
But
good.
it's on your list.
But it's
I'm
on my
surprised
list.
it's on our list, to be
love
honest
that.
with you. Yeah.
I'm like, that's
but
awesome.
it's on my
Yeah.
list. So it was really, really good, obviously, and then the music in it, like just the whole story. I think representation, and I would say I watch more since being married to you. I watch more like DC animated films, and especially when we go to like the premieres that we see at like Comic-Con, like we've gone to those panels, and I've actually watched more like Mask of the Phantasm. Like I've watched all of those things because I never watched those as a kid because it also wasn't geared towards girls. It was geared more towards guys, and so like, or boys.
Although Mask of the Phantasm does have a very strong female
Yes,
lead.
it does.
I know, but the market, like the marketing always is towards
Fair.
boys.
Totally
so I feel
fair.
like at the time, like it wasn't something that was just like, brought to me. So I watch all these things now with David, and so like I definitely watched this because it was like at Comic-Con and whatever, and I was hooked because the animation was really good. Like it was just above, like just you can tell how far we're going.
Love it.
My number 7 is Tangled.
Cute.
So
nice.
Tangled is really, really good. First of all, I also like kind of have a crush on Zachary Levi. So I think that's also why I really liked him as Flynn Rider. And I love Mandy Moore. So like that's what kind of hooked me. And
the cast is pretty good on
the
this
cast
one.
is really good. The songs are really good. My favorite scene is when they're on during the Light Lantern Festival.
Oh, nice one.
And then I forgot the name of the song now, but they sang,
I See the Light.
I See the Light, yes, because David was obsessed with it for a while.
Obsessed with it. I literally asked her last week. I said, this song from Tangle's been on my head. All of a sudden, I'm obsessed with it.
Well, you really like the song.
Well,
Yeah, I'm not obsessed with it.
It's funny.
All right, well.
I figured he knew it because there's like a pun in there. So I'm like, oh, he probably knows it because of the corny pun.
My number 6 is Toy Story 3.
Nice.
So for me, I think I will actually say, and this might be blasphemous, but I think I like 3 a little bit better than 1 and 2.
I do
Only
too.
because I feel like I related to this one.
It's 3, 1, 2. Or 1, 3, 2, 4.
Like
That's
I feel like
what-
I just related to this one. And again, at the end when he like gives up his toys and like I just was like, and just that ending of his childhood, but then like going to college, and then I was in college when I saw this movie. So, and actually I think it was my senior year when the movie came out. So, I was graduating and going on to that next step in life. I wasn't
Same
leaving
here.
behind toys, but like I was leaving behind other things. Like it was just the changes, right? So like I think it was well done, and yeah.
All right, Rye?
The temp.
All right. Number 15, South Park, bigger, longer, uncut.
Can you please tell me
Love it.
that Kyle's mom is your favorite part of that movie?
Oh, you bet your ass. You're a part of that movie.
Oh, have you guys seen South Park?
I
the movie?
freaking loved it when it came out.
I don't
bro.
think you've ever seen South Park.
I can
I've
say
seen the
this
show,
now.
but
My
not
mom,
the movie.
I think she knows this, but Kyle's mom was my mom's ringtone for the longest
Ryan,
time.
why'd you do that? Oh,
Uh,
man.
but yeah,
Do you know the words to that song?
Well,
Kyle's not the guy fish, biggest fish in the whole world. Yeah.
All
but
right, go ahead.
anyway. Number 14, Iron Giant.
Great. I love the Iron Giant.
Number 13, Page Master.
That's not an animated movie, Ryan.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
With Macaulay Culkin?
That's not 100% an animated movie.
Oh.
yeah, I like it.
All right.
I don't really care.
I'll take it off of it.
I
Fine.
forgive him.
Because Lego Movie is not completely animated, but I think the total live action is less than 5 minutes.
Oh, you're
Yeah, but I think that-
right.
Yeah.
total live action. All right. I'm not
I think
sure
the
what the total live action
majority.
for Page Masters.
Fine,
Yeah,
I'll
I
let
think
you.
the majority
I'll let it slide, right? Since it's an honorable mention. Go ahead.
Number 12, Nightmare Before Christmas.
Dang, I'm the only one that didn't give it love.
And number 11, I know I'm going to get shit for it being on my honorable mentions, but Toy Story 3.
Oh,
Ooh, dun, dun, dun,
temp. This is why you're the temp. Oh my God, you're good.
Let the record show earlier in this broadcast, you did say you're not really a temp, but now I guess he's a temp.
You're
I
back.
mean,
You're
are
back in the annex with Kelly Kapoor.
Are you Michael Scott in this scenario? Because then you would totally be obsessed with Ryan.
Oh my gosh,
But
you're
I'm not.
right.
I'm not. Go ahead.
So
So
Ryan.
you're
You're
Dwight
not Michael
then.
Scott,
You gotta be
then.
Dwight.
I'll take a Dwight. I love Dwight. Go ahead. You
Number
guys,
10.
By the way, we're gonna touch on The Office in a few weeks on the 15th anniversary. Do you guys know who Jenny is for our listeners? Jenny is Angela.
I'm not
I was
Angela.
like, I would hope you're gonna say she's your Pam, but okay,
No, she's
we can
Angela.
go with Angela.
And
I'm
I'm
not
Dwight.
so you are
Angela.
Dwight
Yeah,
then.
I am Dwight.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, so it works.
It
Yo,
works.
that love story
No.
does not get enough credit as it should get.
It's good.
It's
really good, and we're gonna talk about that in 2 weeks. All right, Ryan, go ahead.
Number 10, Tarzan.
Ew.
Aw.
I mean, there's solid moments in that movie, but you picked Tarzan over Toy Story 3.
It's
The best part about Tarzan is Phil fucking Collins.
it means more to him.
That's true.
I enjoy it.
All right, go ahead,
Goddamn,
Ryan.
pal.
Goddamn.
God
damn it.
Number 9, Beauty and the Beast.
Yes, good
Yeah,
man.
I stink.
My favorite song is Be Our Guest.
Yes.
Number 8 is Shrek.
Nice.
Favorite scene there is all of when they're going to Dulot, from when they go to the kiosk to when they're fighting the guards.
Oh yes.
I don't think
I
Jenny
love-
likes Shrek. I was trying to put it on the other day, and she's like, I don't really like Shrek.
It's not that I don't like it. I just like I'm okay
Strong
with
female lead. Come on, how can you not like it?
Thank you.
it.
There's a female dragon in it.
Yeah, 2 strong females in it.
There is.
I think it's just because
And the
like
donkey falls in love with the
green.
female dragon.
I know he does. I like Puss in Boots.
No.
Oh damn,
That's
the
racist.
cat lady thing.
That's a cat lady. Oh my gosh. What are you doing, Jenny?
Point proven, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my god,
Point
can we
proven.
make a list of top
Feline characters?
cat
Top cats in
characters?
movies.
Michelle
No.
Pfeiffer is number 1.
Top
Yeah.
cat
No, but
characters?
Simba's also going
In
to be
movies
there
and
too.
television?
Michelle Pfeiffer's number 1.
Michelle
That's
Pfeiffer's
it.
number
It's
one.
over.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
All
That
right,
is
Ryan.
a future episode
All right,
hosted
Ryan.
by
All right,
Jenny the
so
cat
down.
lady.
I'm so down.
The episode we lose all our listeners.
The cat lady
cat
episode.
All right, Ryan, go ahead.
Number 7 is Up. And number 6 is Incredibles.
Oh, solid.
Very
What are your favorite
Yeah,
scenes
what's your favorite
in
scene
Up?
in The Incredibles?
Oh,
and
Up
Up.
first.
Like Up.
I really don't have a favorite. I really can't think of one off the top of my head. I didn't know we were supposed to have favorite scenes, so I didn't.
No,
put
it's
one.
cool then.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I can't think of
I
one.
forgot
off the
to
top of my
mention
head.
when we were talking about Up, when Carl gives the Ellie badge at the end of the movie.
So, full disclosure, I had never
Oh,
seen
I
Up.
actually know. I know my favorite for Up
All right,
is
what
when when the old man shows up for the badge.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I
And he
had,
shows up, I get all teary-eyed for that. Like,
'Cause
oh, awesome.
I'd
And the
say-
dogs are all in the background. Oh, so
Yeah.
funny.
Because I had stayed away from Up because I had heard how sad it was as a movie until your freaking wedding. And then you had that scene in your wedding.
But we know I knew when to cut it.
We did, but
Yeah.
I did some videos. So, like for our listeners, because they weren't at our wedding, we got married in a movie theater and we had a projector, and so we were able to show clips of whatever we wanted. And so I cut it at the end that we walked out to. I guess it would be their song, right? Like
Married
Yeah.
Life.
called
Yeah.
Married Life. And then
Michael
I
Giacchino.
clipped the scenes from the movie, but I ended it right before she passes on because I think there were also people in the audience at the wedding that were like, oh no, like where is this going? Like, is it gonna go?
We're supposed to cry from happiness,
and
not
they told us later, they were like, we were so relieved that you cut it right there because we thought you were gonna show it. And I was like, no.
No, yeah. So that was that was my first time seeing that scene. And from there, between you guys showing that and then Stacy pretty much convincing me that I had to see the movie because it was that good. It really was that good. I mean, the movie was freaking awesome. So solid picks, Rye.
Thank you. It's funny for me. I first saw it when they did Movies on the Beach in Point Pleasant, and then actually Casey just saw it for the first time a couple weeks ago.
What'd she think?
She loved it. She was like, I'm not sure why I didn't watch it so sooner.
All right, so Rye, bring us back to your 5 through 2.
5 through 2. Hold on, phone's acting up. Number 5 is Aladdin. Just one of my favorites of all time. My favorite scene is "You Got a Friend in Me." You never had a friend like me. I'm sorry. Number 4, Lion King.
Woo!
Favorite is Hakuna Matata because that's pretty much how I try to live my life.
Nice.
Number 3, Spider-Verse. Into the Spider-Verse. Love
a lot lower than I
that
thought,
movie.
Right?
Yeah, but it's high. I expected it to be high.
Well, my 1, 2, and 3 are all very interchangeable. I'm going to tell you that much right now. And just love every aspect of that movie. It was hard for me to pick up the scene. And number 2 is Mask of the Phantasm.
Yes.
Nice.
Hold your thoughts on that one. We'll get into it in a little bit.
Okay.
Jenny the Cat Lady.
Oh, I go next.
Unfortunately, yes.
Oh, right. Because Just Leo was the second.
Just
one
Leo
to
was
go.
second, yeah.
So Jenny the Cat Lady. Okay.
She loves the nickname, bro.
Yeah, she's.
I'm gonna just get into it.
We went from a rant to, oh yeah, I kind of dig Jenny the Cat Lady.
I guess. I mean, I'll take it for now.
Because things are starting to fit after the Puss in Boots thing.
Yeah.
His big eyes. They're just so cute. And that's played by Antonio Banderas.
Antonio
right?
Banderas.
Academy Award nominee.
Oh.
But not for Puss in Boots.
He should have won for Puss in Boots.
So sticking with the Spanish theme, my number 5 is Coco.
Nice. Are there any cats in Coco?
No.
Maybe like
Coco,
a skeleton cat.
Speaking of depressing, oh my God, Coco
was so good.
So
We saw it and I was just like blown away. I'm not Mexican and that's not my heritage, but I'm Cuban and I'm Spanish and I have a very close relationship with my grandmother. And just, family is really important and we're very close. And so I just thought that they did such a tremendous job of showing Mexican culture and
Dia de la Muerte.
Yeah, and how they like just their traditions and then just how everything tied up and how he wanted to be a singer and then he meets his grandfather or his great grandfather, I think it was. And then it was such a great movie and the music is really, really good. And the animation.
Feel like you're in Mexico in those scenes
like it was just
like
really, really good.
One of
Super
the only
strong.
animated movies to win 2 Oscars. Because it won Best Original Song and Best Animated Feature.
Nice, Jenny.
My number 4, even though David hated it, is The Little Mermaid.
I don't hate The Little Mermaid.
I know, but it was all the way at the bottom.
Yeah, that's an honorable mention for you, so you don't
Well,
like
your
it.
number
Why do you
one's
hate
not
Little
even-
Mermaid?
Your number 1's not even on my list.
The
so.
Little Mermaid. How do you know it's my number 1?
I know what your number 1 is.
What's my number 1?
I'm not telling you.
No, just
I
guess.
don't want
I
to
won't.
spoil it for the listeners.
All right, fine. So but then you might just be like, I
could've
knew
sworn-
it. And
I
even
could have
if you
sworn
didn't
Coco was
know.
going to be your number 1, to be
No.
honest. I know you
Her
had
number
really
one-
high on
Her number 1 will never be touched.
Will never be touched.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Don't know. Okay, so my number 4 is The Little Mermaid.
Love it.
So good. I watched this movie 1,000 times. Like, if you have a kid and your kid plays a movie that they're gonna watch all the time, like that was me to my mom.
Can I play devil's advocate on The Little Mermaid real quick?
Yeah.
What are you?
I'm glad Jen's here for this.
What
one.
are you arguing
Yeah,
here?
what are you?
It's not very female empowerment.
No, it's not.
not at
Because
all.
she's
But
like,
it didn't have to be at the time when I was watching it.
she
either.
was just like,
It's fish empowerment.
Not even fish empowerment. She was like, I'm gonna give up my family. I'm gonna give up my everything I love, including me being a mermaid, for this guy that I don't even know.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't.
He was so
yes,
dreamy.
the guy
Was he though?
The guy was the catalyst, but it was also the fact that she wanted to have other experiences, part of your world. Like, she wanted to be able to, like, live out of water. She wanted to be able to do those things. I mean, in the water, all they're doing is swimming all day. It's not like they had a job. It's not, unless you started to watch the Little Mermaid animated series, which was pretty good. I watched that after.
Like Dory said, just keep swimming.
I guess, but like, it just wasn't the same.
Did Finding Nemo make anyone list?
No.
Even though I love
like it.
There's
cute little sea turtles in it.
So Little Mermaid, great. Fantastic. Number 3 is Up.
That's really high up for you.
3.
It's such a good movie. Nominated for 5 Academy Awards.
And
one for Best
Animated Feature.
And Original Score, no?
Yes.
Bam,
Michael Giacchino.
Look at Jenny with the awards right now. Bam.
Mm-hmm.
She learned from the best.
Up is so good. So sad at the same time. But it's
it's only really sad.
I know, but
the first...
it's still...
It comes back at the end, too.
With the Ellie badge.
With the badge and with the book. When he rereads the book. It does come back.
And then he realizes...
Yeah, the adventure or something.
He was just, like, wanting to give her this adventure. He never gave it to her because life happened. And then at the end, he realizes that, like, he was her adventure.
Yes. Are you going to cry now?
Yes, maybe. My number 2... is what I think David thinks is my number 1. Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, wow. Why is that not shocking?
So that's my number 2.
You don't know your wife as well as you thought
Jen
you did.
just turned heel on me.
So
she just hit you in the back with a chair.
Seriously, she
Sleeping
definitely
Beauty
did.
is my favorite Disney princess, and this is another one of the movies that, like, I could watch over and over again. And I also feel very passionately at the way... so originally, her dress is supposed to be blue.
Here we go.
Okay, but Disney, to differentiate between Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, made her into the pink dress so Cinderella could keep her signature blue in all of their merchandising. So it pisses me off when I can't find anything Sleeping Beauty related with blue.
Absolutely.
So Sleeping Beauty, I think, was tremendous for the animation. It won an Academy Award. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It was a nominee for Best Musical Score.
Ooh.
But it won...
and it was the first animated film to be photographed in the Super Technorama 70 widescreen process. Just throwing out some facts.
Cool.
And then
now you're number 1.
We'll wait to
so
see
best
my number
musical
1.
score back then was all combined together then? So that was best musical score of all the movies?
Yeah, best musical score, yeah.
Well, no, animated scores are in...
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Still in the same category.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, Just Leo.
Just Leo. So my numero 5 is WALL-E.
Aww.
So I love WALL-E too. I still think it's one of the greatest romance stories of our generation.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, dude, it's such like a really loaded. I mean, I love the fact that there's no words, there's no dialogue for the first like 45 minutes of the movie. And you literally fall in love with these two characters, and all they do is beep and say their names in different tones, different inflections, but it's enough for you to build some kind of connection to it. Favorite part is WALL-E holding hands. How he sees it on the screen and he keeps wanting to hold Eve's hand. I just think it's super cute.
I think it's adorable every time because he's shy.
Yeah.
And he just goes into the box.
Yep.
It's adorable.
My number 4 is Big Hero 6.
Oh, yeah. You love that movie.
I love Big Hero 6. So Big Hero 6 is another Marvel movie.
Wait, did you just say Marvel movie?
It's a Marvel movie.
How is it a Marvel movie?
Because it's a Marvel comic.
Big Hero 6 is a Marvel comic book? Look at that. I did not even know that.
Yeah, Big Hero 6 is a Marvel movie, but when I watched it, I didn't expect anything from it. And then the soundtrack was pretty dope. But I think by far my favorite part of it is anything with Baymax.
He's hilarious.
He's so funny. The part where he's like, I'm not fast because he's trying to run really quick and he can't run. When he's petting the cat and he calls it a hairy baby. Or the infamous little fist pump thing that he has going with Takashi
6ix9ine.
Yeah, and then my number 3, Jenny will love, Little Mermaid.
Mermaid.
I really stink.
Yeah, Little Mermaid, and much like Jenny. So my sister is just a year and a half younger than me. So like a lot of the things that like you noted when you were growing up,
she might be my age actually.
She loved this.
She's 32.
Yeah, she's 87.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she grew up with
That's
this.
why.
She loved this movie so much. So I kept hearing it at home.
So good.
Singing all the songs. I mean, I love Sebastian. I love Flounder.
I had a movie poster puzzle that I still have that I made with my mom and we framed.
That's
and I still have it.
Yeah, she had like all the I guess the mattress comforters.
Oh, I had all that. It was probably the same set.
Probably, but
I'm
like
sure.
yeah, for me, Kiss the Girl, Under the Sea, just like we mentioned in the Disney episode, it's still for me the most iconic. My numero dos is gonna be Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
Yeah, and much like Ryan mentioned before, everything in this movie is freaking awesome. The animation was different and fresh. The music was so freaking hip. Like the soundtrack is just so current and just like, hip hop was just amazing in it.
Yep.
But yeah.
I'll say this: I don't like modern hip hop. Like I stopped listening to anything past like the double O's. I love that soundtrack.
For sure.
And that got me listening to newer
yeah,
rap.
dude. Like Post Malone, all of a sudden I'm like, oh shoot, this is actually pretty dope.
So that's your number two?
That's my number two.
Alrighty. So bringing us home here, my number 5 is Aladdin. It is my favorite Disney animated film, not Pixar, Disney animated film. I thought I wasn't alone on this Aladdin thing, but over the past couple of years, it's been a lot of people that have joined that favorite Disney animated film. I think it has I know we disagree on this. I think it has the best out of that time, especially the best performance of any character in a Disney animated
Robin
movie.
Williams.
Yeah, I don't think anyone touches him. I don't think it's close.
We disagree on this?
I think you said Mufasa.
No, we talked about what was more iconic, and I said
And
that Mufasa's voice is more iconic than Robin Williams, but Robin Williams' performance is
the
definitely
character.
better.
Yeah, I think I'll take the genie over Mufasa any day.
Absolutely.
I mean,
yeah.
he got an honorary Oscar for that performance because he wasn't nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah, no.
That is just crazy. And my favorite part of that movie is Friend Like Me. And Prince Ali is a runner-up there. I do like Prince Ali as well. My number 4 is Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
Okay. I was waiting for that movie to make an appearance.
Like, where is it?
Yeah.
I think it's...
I was curious on where it was on your list.
Yeah, so I had to make sure I had a lengthy theatrical run because I thought it was originally... Because I did see it in theaters when I was a kid, but I thought it was one of those like Killing Joke because DC does like those like 2-night things. That doesn't count. So this did have a little bit of... Didn't make too much money in the box
Shit, I got
office.
to change my number 1. No.
So yeah, I think it's one of the best Batman stories I've ever seen.
Yes.
Because it's... And most importantly, it's not just a great Batman story. It is a amazing Bruce Wayne story. And that's something we don't really ever see.
Yep, that brown suit, yellow shirt wearing Bruce
like he
Wayne.
wear this like he's like Doug Funny. I just want to see Bruce Wayne's closet in the animated series. How many
brown suits, yellow shirts?
That maybe that's Dwight Schrute's dad.
That's Dwight's wardrobe too.
That's probably where he was inspired
Dwight's
from.
Damien.
Very like you and Rai said it before. Extremely powerful female.
Yes.
Like, she is empowered. She is a badass.
One of the greatest twists too.
I mean, as a kid, of course, I didn't see it coming. And it's also a good Batman Joker story. Even though the Joker's not really in it till about halfway through, I think it's still a very good Joker Batman story. I think it has a little bit of everything. So I think it's probably the number 2.
But is he the best villain that you could put in that story?
Yes.
though?
Yes.
Joker or
if you're
Phantasm?
Joker.
Yes.
Okay, I was just throwing it out there.
If you're throwing it on the big screen, it has to be Joker.
I feel like we're playing double
Ryan
dutch.
just
and
like
Ryan was
Like
about to get
Penguin
in,
was an
and
actual
never mind.
gangster. That's why I was thinking maybe Penguin or something like that.
Well,
like
in the animated series, the Joker was a gangster too. I think, for the most part.
He had his own gang, but I don't know if he cared about money though.
No, he never did.
No, he did in Joker's Millions.
I stand corrected.
Well done, Ryan. Well done. And I also really like the look of the Phantasm.
Yes.
Yes.
I want to see this live action. I think this could work live action.
I just don't trust freaking Warner Brothers
Anyone.
and DC.
Well,
movies
Batman
to do
Mask of the
this.
Phantasm is Warner Brothers.
Like back then,
Tim
it was
Burton.
different.
I don't-
Bruce Timm and that animation team was amazing.
Yeah,
That's
you're
a
right.
heyday.
My number 3, I mentioned before that Toy Story 3 is my number 2 Toy Story movie, but this is my number 2 Pixar movie, The Incredibles.
Nice.
The best,
the greatest
Fantastic Four movie of all time until
So far.
until the MCU's version.
no, yeah, like I remember in 2004, it was like oh, cool, a Disney doing an animated superhero movie. Let's see how it goes. And I think they do such a good job of giving every single one of these characters a personality that you adhere you feel for one of them. I think Jenny's favorite is Jack Jack.
Jack's
Jack
adorable
because he likes
man.
chocolate chip cookies.
Yes, this is true.
Wait, okay, no, there's no cats in this one, right?
So one of my favorite scenes.
There are no cats.
No, there are no cats. One of my favorite scenes is when he's putting on.
I do actually love. I'm sorry, I do love Edna Mode.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
Edna's
that's
freaking
Anna,
awesome.
Anna
Wow.
Winterfell.
Yeah,
That's Anna Winterfell.
Anna Winterfell.
So, not my favorite scene, but I do love the scene where he's trying to put on the suit for the first time, but he's too fat.
Oh yeah,
I really like that, and that's why he has to go to Edna to get a new suit because he's too fat. And I just like the end. My favorite scene is just the end when they're fighting Syndrome.
when they're leaving. Okay,
When they are actually the Fantastic Four, and yeah. So I really like the second one. Didn't love it as much as the first one. I think the first one was perfect place, perfect time.
Definitely,
Especially
And fresh.
after we got those garbage Fantastic, or was it before? It was before we got those garbage Fantastic
all
Four
we've
movies.
gotten is garbage Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah, that
so
is
it
true.
was like right in the middle.
That is true. Fun fact. I was watching a video on Watch Mojo on YouTube this past week. Did you know that it could have gotten worse for Fantastic Four? The original plan was for Doctor Doom to not be called Doctor Doom.
What do you wait? Which of the Fantastic Four versions are we talking about?
The Josh Trank one.
What the heck do you mean? Is that not going to get called Doctor Doom?
They were just gonna call him by his last name,
Von Doom.
I think it was gonna be completely just Von Doom or something
I
along
freaking
those
hate
lines.
That movie so much.
Yeah, you should check out the video on YouTube. It's pretty interesting. And my number 2 is Into the Spider-Verse.
Nice.
It's the best comic book movie of 2018, I think.
Would you still say best Spider-Man movie? I mean,
Yes.
I think it's. I think
It's
it
this
is.
and Spider-Man 2.
right?
This Spider-Man 2 and
Homecoming.
Homecoming. Yeah, those are my top 3
I would
Spider.
say this, Homecoming. Yeah.
I think this has the best origin story out of the 3. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
There's only one that has the origin story, but out of all the Spider-Man movies, I'm talking about origin story wise, this is the best one.
Nice.
I think you do such a great Lord and Miller. I just wish I would have been able to see what their Star Wars movie would have looked like if they didn't get fired. The animation is unique.
But if they didn't get fired, they wouldn't have been able to.
No,
make
they were
this.
working on this at the same time, I believe.
Oh, all right. Well,
Um,
they had more time.
yeah. So, I think when we first saw the first 35 minutes at Comic-Con, I was sold.
Remember?
It was.
So dope.
I was just, and it was an incomplete film. Some of the animation wasn't even complete,
Right.
and even that, I was still like, "Oh, this thing is going to be really, really good."
Yeah, I think back then we kind of were like, this looks unlike anything we've seen before, too.
Yeah,
Like,
and I think the movie is about self-discovery.
Yeah.
Like, because my favorite part of the movie is towards the end when he takes that leap of faith, and the whole movie's about taking that leap of faith, and he finally takes that leap of faith, where he's wearing the suit, he puts the hoodie on, and it just jumps
Yeah.
with the score playing in the background.
Yep.
I think it's What Up Danger too.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So that's my number 2, and then to bring us home, my number 1 is Toy Story.
The original?
The original,
OG?
the OG. Anyone else have Toy Story?
No.
Yep.
No.
Nope. Okay, so Ryan.
No, me.
Oh yeah, Ryan.
Yeah.
And I, we can talk about Toy Story and how amazing it is. So yeah, Toy Story. I think it's saved the animation. It created a new. The animation we see now is because of Toy
Definitely.
Story. Outside of that, I think it has 2 of the best performances in an animated film with Tom Hanks and Tim Allen.
True.
My God, if Buzz Lightyear had a sidekick named Al, I would have lost
A little
my
lumberjack.
mind.
A little
And he
lumberjack.
comes in with he had a flannel shirt and like a toolkit.
That would've been
Fantastic. It's just a really, really solid film in terms of acceptance, because Buzz is very different than the other toys in terms of what he believes in, and they accept his beliefs towards the end in the weirdest way possible. But also, I do think it shows how far animation can go, and if you can see and I love watching the Toy Stories back to back to back to back, because you see how much the animation has changed from 95 to like to 2019. In terms of my favorite scene there would be the first time that Buzz meets Woody, and
That's cute.
when he's like, when he pulls up his mask and he's like passing out.
The oxygen.
The oxygen. By the way, Mr. Potato Head, kind of a dick.
Yeah.
Kind of a dick. When's the last time you saw Toy Story, the first one?
It's gotta be years.
I don't think
Years.
that Mr. Potato Head does
Couple
anything
weeks.
redeemable in that movie. he's like straight up ready to kill Woody. I'm like, yo, you've been living with this toy for like, let's say 7-8 years. You're willing to throw him out because you just assume that he killed Buzz? No. I don't like the fact that he got a Mrs. Potato Head and like got rewarded for all his
he got
evilness.
He got a girl as a reward. Yeah.
All right, Ryan, why is it your number one?
Everything you said, plus I think just how it started so much. Like it started a movie franchise that we grew up with, but it all started there. It's great performances. I agree with the favorite scene, although I actually set right next to it would be when they're in the pizza place and they're in the machine with the aliens, like the claw,
you little Martians.
You've been chosen. I just always laugh every time I see that scene. And yeah, like I remember watching it as a kid. I loved it and love it to this day. I watched it a couple weeks ago and I can watch it right after this.
And it's the first time. It's the first movie. Yes, I can remember that. My mom mispronounced as a very Cuban thing. My mom used to call it toy,
Toy,
and it cracked me the fuck up as a young butterball.
toy.
And it's really really funny. But yeah, Toy Story is amazing, and Just Leo, take it away.
So my number one, it's gonna be the number one I had back with the Disney list. It's still Lion King.
Okay,
The movie,
wrong there.
The
Nothing
movie
wrong
has
there.
all the cats. So
All the cats.
But yeah, Lion King's still my top dog, no matter what.
Not a dog. Not a dog.
Yeah, it's still like that
It's
one.
the king of the. It's the king of the jungle.
The King of the Jungle. My apologies to the royalty. No, that I can watch. I think that one I legitimately watch maybe like 4 or 5 times a year.
What's your favorite scene?
Be prepared, bro. And that's why it broke my heart when they ruined that song in the remake. But it's Lion King's still my number one.
Jen?
So my number one is Ratatouille.
Really?
There's a mouse in there.
Wow.
There's got to be a cat though. I know for a fact there's cats if there's a mouse.
No, actually, I don't know if there is a mouse.
No, there's. I don't think there's.
But
there is a mouse because the movie's about a
Oh,
mouse.
I'm sorry, a cat. I'm sorry. I don't think there's a cat, but there is something.
I can't believe Ratatouille's over Sleeping Beauty. Are you sure? You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's so good. I really love that rat so much. I don't know. I just
That is
really
the most anti-cat lady thing
Right?
to
I
possibly
really-
say.
I don't even know what to say
I
anymore.
think she changed her list so she could take away the
I
nickname.
think so.
No.
Well done,
Look,
Leo.
look
So should we call her
here.
Rat Lady?
the Rat Queen.
That doesn't
No.
sound.
See, Ratatouille. It's
Ratatouille.
there.
Rat Jenny.
I don't know. I just really enjoyed the whole like he's in Paris and he just wants to cook. Like he wants to be more than a rat, and it's just like he has a dream, and he. It's just I don't know. It hit me so
Because
well.
we all want to be more than rats.
Well, right, like he's got a dream, and then his rat family, his brother Emile, all he does is eat, and then like his father's telling him, "No, you're a rat. Like you go through garbage. This is who you are, and whatever." And he just wants to be like Cousteau and like be a Michelin. Well, what would be the equivalent of a Michelin star chef? And he just wants to do it. And then, he's watching and he's like, I'm going to go to the restaurant. And he goes in and he sneaks in. And obviously rats in kitchens are big no-nos because if I see a real one.
Unless Jenny's.
No. If I see a real one, I freak out
Yeah,
too.
that's not cute.
But
That's not cute anymore.
What if his name's Remy?
oh,
I think I freaked out more if I saw an animated one running.
and so like, it's so cute. And then he meets Linguini and he needs to like.
So I love that we're going through the whole.
We're getting the
movie
whole
right
movie.
now.
Yeah. We're
And
literally getting the whole
he's
movie.
basically like, terrible at cooking,
Yes.
but he helps him out. I don't know. And then they form a friendship, and that's all he wanted was a friend too. It's such a good movie.
Let the record. Like, I
No?
love the fact that earlier today.
I wish people could see how excited I am about this.
Yeah, this is amazing.
I'm really actually also excited for the Ratatouille ride that's coming to Disney World in the French Pavilion.
You know what that means? We got to go to Disney again.
I love that David couldn't understand how like we sympathize with a lion and a deer losing their parents. But we have Jenny here completely identifying
with a rat chef.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's real, people. It's real. And so, yeah, it's Ratatouille. So good. It was nominated for 5 Academy Awards. It won Best Animated Feature.
Bam! It's got the awards
mic
too.
Drop it, baby.
Man.
So good. Ratatouille.
Spider-Man won the animated film, too. Toy Story didn't win it because it didn't exist at the time.
Did Lion King?
It didn't exist at the time.
Oh, boo.
Do you want to know the film that made the Academy create the award?
Wasn't it Beauty?
It was Shrek.
I can see it.
Shrek was the first movie to win animated feature in 2001. Do not even bother looking it up because there is no way that I'm not right here.
Beauty and the Beast didn't win?
There's no animated film category since 2001. So with that being said, next week we're going to look at our favorite duos.
Favorite duos.
And
duos in what? Just movies?
Movie duos.
Movie duos.
I have some good ones that I already started working on
like
this list.
Like obscure ones that or just
no.
classic
Well,
ones?
I don't think they'll be on any of your list. That's why I was like, okay, interesting. I think because sports duos count, right?
Well, sports duos count.
So how do you mean sports duos?
Like a coach and player.
Like Conroy and
maybe.
Oh boy.
Because I guess that's the thing. We have to be specific about what a duo entails.
And that's what we're gonna let the audience find
Batman
out next
and Robin
week.
are a duo.
Absolutely, but I don't think
they're
I'd
not
Batman
anyone's
and Robin.
I swear to God, David, I know you love that freaking movie.
It may be an honorable mention. There's no way I may do Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze.
I mean,
as an
couples
honorable
or
mention.
duos. That counts.
Couples are duos.
Couples are duos.
What's the La La Land? Sebastian and
Mia.
and
That'll
Mia.
definitely be on there.
You already have.
I
one
went
on
with
my
friends
list.
and couples. That's what I went with in my head.
You know, I gotta show La La Land some love. It doesn't get enough from me.
Arthur and Murray.
That's not a. No, that's not a duo.
That's not a duo.
It's more like Arthur.
Not a
and
duo,
Joker.
but I figured.
Yeah. All right. So you'll find out what makes our list next week. Until then, see you at the movies, kids.